Scott Pentel opened LSI 2025 by saying, "This is truly the most exciting time in MedTech." And based on the energy and data point where over 1,500 innovators, investors, and collaborators gathered for this year's event, I couldn't agree more. Starting this year, the investment headwinds of the previous years, bank failures, rising interest rates, and rapidly rising costs, were abating. And we saw the results of several major multi-billion, yes, I said billion-dollar acquisitions by J&J, Edwards, Stryker. Additionally, the successful IPOs of Ceribell and more recently Beta Bionics, which raised $204 million, are paving the way for increased investment in MedTech throughout 2025. However, it was not all sunny in California, as some of the uncertainty of tariffs and the administration's impact on the FDA has resulted in some uncertainty, creating more of a cautious approach for some that I spoke with there. Now, one thing is certain, there is a ton of innovation in MedTech, with 5 stages where over 400 innovators pitch their solutions and the impact they can have on this crucial market. In this MedTech evolution, the tech was on display in all segments. From diabetes care, where companies like Orpyx, whose connected insoles have perfected frictionless continuous monitoring of neuropathic patients to provide earlier warning signs, to SenSar, who is able to implant a signal into the nerve, allowing the amputees to truly feel the pressure of their feet. Amputees, truly incredible to see. Now, implantable monitoring was also highlighted by Precision Cardiovascular's implantable heart monitor, which fulfills the dream of continuous, unobtrusive heart monitoring solutions. PulseSense has a sensitivity to be read in any position or activity. Now, novel monitoring solutions are also bringing in new data to the market, like Craniosense, who is working to give clinicians data on internal cranial pressure in seconds with their non-invasive IPAS monitoring. Now, instead, the current methodology, where the standard of care is drilling a hole in the skull, it makes sense why 98% of cranial pressure is never measured. Now, the change in healthcare is not just driven by data, but extends to fulfilling the promise of personalization in healthcare through additive manufacturing. Ricoh has made the bold move to spin off its medical 3D printing business, creating more focus and allowing them to capture outside capital to drive a revolution with their fully integrated end-to-end 3D modeling of surgical planning tools and product development. With their simple single-click interface and on-premise ISO 13485 3D printing capabilities, they are finally fulfilling the promise of precision, personalized patient planning. Now, innovation is also changing surgical approaches. From orthopedics, where we saw meduloc, who's creating a new standard in stable fixation for all types of long and small bone fractures, providing surgeons a minimally invasive approach that is also joint preserving. We also saw surgical revolutions in endovascular surgery from Versono, who has been developing an intravascular ultrasonic platform technology to transform endovascular treatment of complex calcified lesions. This will impact the 20 million people suffering from PAD by opening occluded arteries, providing much needed blood flow. Now, it's not only arteries that are becoming restricted. For over 8 million patients, their trachea collapses as they suffer from a degenerative disease called TBM that causes a near collapse of the airways. That's why I was excited to hear that Lazzaro Medical's scaffold system is now entering a crucial stage in their clinical trial, which has already seen impact on patients. For instance, Kathy, who was forced to live on a portable ventilator, and after the intervention of the scaffold, can be heard here singing the national anthem. That is what I call improving lives. Finally, the most impactful innovations are not always high-tech, and some of the most meaningful innovations are seemingly simple, like Proluma Medical, who is rethinking the Foley catheter, which hasn't changed for decades. Their novel solution seeks to reduce friction and irritation of the urethra for the 100 million patients who use a Foley catheter today. Now, I could go on for hours about the countless innovations in LSI, but please comment below about what you saw, what you think will innovate. And we'd love to hear from you and your thoughts, because we're here to fulfill our mission of improving lives by uniting great people with great companies like these.